We recorded this episode before the world learned of Grant Wall's passing during the Argentina-Netherlands World Cup match on Friday. This news is so hard for all of us. If you're of a certain age, Grant was basically the American soccer writer.
The work he did to pave the way for all of us can never be overstated, nor can the compassion, kindness, and support he showed to others. He covered the World Cup bravely in a way so many outlets shied away from and worked tirelessly to open soccer to all of us.
His work embodied the spirit of Y'all Means All. Everyone in the Moontower family's hearts are with Grant's friends and family as they work through this tragic loss.
The presenting sponsor of Moontower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Swoontower Soccer. I'm Stephanie Cragnola.
And I'm Mike Cragnola.
And we're all about the boys.
Yeah, we got a decent week for y'all.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Sorry, we were away on vacation. But here we are. We're back.
And we've got a really exciting episode. We're going to cover our social media standouts. We're going to do some lyric subs for next season. And then we have a very special interview. We're so excited. I think you're really going to love it. It's some World Cup content rather than specifically Austin FC, but it's definitely going to be fun and wild.
Yeah, and we tried to squeeze in some Austin FC in there, so let's see how that worked out. But I guess we can start off with social media. And speaking of World Cup, our Argentine boys have been busy supporting La Patria.
I mean, when we have so many, three? That's a lot.
Yeah.
3 out of a starting 11 is a high percentage of Argentinian players.
And especially with a team that's so good to watch, it makes sense that they would be so proud and excited all the time. What are some of your standouts from Seba, Emmy, and Maxi celebrating the World Cup?
So I think for me, it was more just the general theme of, yes, they are our players, right? They are MLS players. Seba is MVP. He is incredible, the best player in the world. And can't make the Argentina national team, right?
Yeah.
Neither, obviously, can Maxi or Emmy. And to see them as fans of a national team, I think was really exciting for me. It reminded me that, I mean, A, they're children still, basically. And B, they're fans of soccer just as much as we are.
Yeah.
And so for them to be wearing jerseys and looking up to these national team players was so just wholesome for me.
Yeah, super duper stars. They're just like us.
Right, exactly.
But honestly, my favorite part so far has been Emmy Rigoni's new jersey drop for his EML or his esports team.
It's so sick.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen it, first of all, Emmy Rigoni owns a professional esports team in Argentina. Second of all, they have a new jersey, and it's a rip of the Argentine national stripes. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. It's so sleek. It's so cool. And creating your brand around something that you love also it's great. I loved it.
Rad. My second favorite thing is the Sebastian Driussi meeting Leo Messi story.
Oh, gosh.
From 2017.
Oh.
So this week, maybe it was last week, news broke that, our MVP has met the god of football, Leo Messi. And the circumstances surrounding it were amazing. Steph, do you remember how this story went at all?
Basically, Messi thought he was a fan. That's it. Just thought he was a rando fan.
Yeah, one of those dudes who's always hanging around asking for a photo.
And to be fair to Messi, I get it. There are so many soccer players in Argentina and professional ones.
Yeah.
And so to not I don't know. It's also funny to me because looking at Seba, I'm like, ooh, that guy's a star. Looking at Messi, I'm like, ooh, that guy's a dad. So I would have just
Yeah, which
assumed
one of these
anything would be
dudes?
the other way. Right, exactly.
Which one of these dudes is a guy looking for a picture?
Right. The one who looks like he should be wearing, calf-high white socks with some beat-up 1980s Nikes.
Yeah. And
Mowing the lawn on a Sunday.
painter's jeans, right? Like
Right.
still in 2022.
Yeah.
I will say that my favorite part of this whole story was when it came out that Messi and Seba have the same tattoo artist, and that's how they knew each other.
And Messi handled it really well. He posted an apology. Clearly, Seba was probably upset in the moment, but still excited enough to post the picture. And he was a fan looking for a picture, right? Both things can be true.
Yeah, it was amazing. That's my favorite part about our Argentine boys celebrating the World Cup.
Yep.
A little bit closer to home, though.
Yeah.
Brad Stuver, King Bradley himself, has been extended by the club.
Yeah.
And with that came an incredible contract extension video.
Honestly, even in the off season, the media team is killing it every single time.
Every single time.
So congratulations to Brad. Obviously, everybody wanted and needed that. And he's clearly happy here. So to see, his growth from where he came from to Austin FC and how much he's thrived here, it was just nice to see it in a little, 2-minute.
Which part in those 2 minutes made you cry the most?
Oh, all of them.
Was it the little boy with the gloves?
Listen.
Was that when I walked in on you bawling?
No, bawling is extreme.
Okay.
I would say I was
Body heaving, racking sobs.
I was emotional. I had emotions.
Yeah.
Speaking of contract extensions,
I don't know where this is going. Go on.
Hector is back for another year.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that is late breaking news. When he played golf with our very own Moontower dad, Jeremiah Bentley, that was not announced yet. And so they weren't talking about that.
So that's really exciting. It's great to have so many just good guys coming back.
Also, underrated hottie. I'm going to say it. Hector doesn't get enough love around here. And with a chiseled jaw like that, man, he deserves it. Hector
posted a Mumford & Sons quote when they announced their pregnancy, and so he's just an automatic 10 in my book. That Mumford boost.
Got it. I guess speaking of boosts is the...
There's no transition for this.
That's the one I'm going with. Danny Pereira recently helped out with the 4ATX Foundation and Austin FC. And I saw Austin FC's president, Andy Loughnane, in Uvalde to help out with opening a new mini pitch down there and playing some games with some of the kids in the community.
Super
Obviously,
cute.
So cute, so amazing. A quote that Austin FC put out about this from Andy was, "We hope that the mini pitch will give a very deserving community a new opportunity to experience the joy that soccer can provide and transform the park into a space where young people can play for many years to come." I love this type of stuff. Also, I loved that the video that went along with it in all of the social stories was of Danny absolutely clowning children.
Yeah.
Just brutal, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me actually of when Diego first came. And there was that video of him playing pickup with the kids, just surprising them at a park or whatever.
Yeah, or Ruben tripping his, 2-year-old son. Or, we'll get to this later, our very own Jesse clowning on a child last night at the foosball tournament. But save that for later.
Yeah, massive. You know what? No, let's do it now. Massive shout out to our very own Jesse Sosa, longtime Swoontower listener, longtime friend of the show, who last night participated in a foosball tournament at Hop Squad, where he unceremoniously smoked a child in this game of foosball, even though the child had the same haircut. This child clearly looked up to Jesse so much. You know what I mean? Idolized this man. And here he is, just ruthless in his foosball domination.
The event was so much fun. It was really great. It was a fundraiser for Partnerships for Children, which is an Austin foundation that helps children and families connected with child protective services, with resources and support. And we are putting the link to donate to them in the show notes. So make sure you check that out. Brad so graciously gave his time and terrible foosball skills.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even say Brad Stuver was there. We were just talking about Jesse.
Jesse was the important one, so sorry, Brad. Not sorry.
Yeah, also shout out to my boy Aloy for winning.
Yeah, congratulations.
So Aloy and I have worked together for almost a decade at this point, and the first time I met him was through Austin FC. It's wild, it's amazing, and it turns out he's a very good foosball player. You know who is not a very good foosball player,
Me.
Stephanie? Brad Stuver.
Yeah, also Brad. That's what me and Brad have in common. It might be the one thing me and Brad have in common.
So, it's not the only thing. You both have hearts of gold.
Oh, thanks.
And cool partners.
Got him. Okay, so yeah, that was it was I don't know how to handle that. It was fun and it was great, and the Partnerships for Children is a really cool organization, so please give them some love and support.
I know the transition for this one.
Okay.
Speaking of children,
Stop, my son, my sweet angel baby boy. So there have been, my favorite social media follow this month has been Rodney back in Paraguay, because he's just been hanging out with his niece. He's so happy. He's so happy. And like, I get it. You know, I got to hang out with my niece a couple weeks ago and it was the best.
bench warmers, they're just like us.
Stop. Don't you dare.
No, you know I love your son.
Yeah, you have to.
I know, because we're married. Your son is my son, too.
I love Rodney Redis, and all of you can shove it. That's the most aggressive I'm ever going to get on this podcast. It's like John Gallagher's polo shirt and anyone being mean to Rodney.
And apparently Alex Ring's suit.
Ugh, not that again.
Anyway. I have also really enjoyed watching Rodney's stories. He is very clearly dedicated to his family back home,
yeah.
And it is very sweet to see. So hopefully they can come visit if he's here this next season, you know. If. I mean, you know, there's a lot of time between...
Diego got a new car sponsorship.
Speaking of ifs, he is driving an Alfa Romeo now. It's kind of a step up, in my opinion, from the, like, Chevy truck or whatever he had before.
He kicked a ball through that whole truck window.
Yeah, and so it makes sense to move to the Alfa with much smaller windows to prove that,
level up his skill.
Yeah.
We need that video.
Right. The other video that we did get was about Diego's dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really what it was about, right?
No, it was about Diego, but like it was super cute to see pictures of him when he was 14?
Yeah.
With the Revs. So funny. And even he was like, I don't know if I could pull that mohawk off again, but I don't know. Go for it, Diego.
Diego, you could do it.
You could do it.
Don't listen to the haters. Silence the haters. Grow a mohawk again. If you do it, I'll do it. It's 2022. I just put that out there. If Diego grows a mohawk again, I'll grow my mohawk again.
Great. Also, he has a lot of dogs and they're very cute.
I loved this video because I was following the Revs when he started on that team. Originally, we're both from Massachusetts, and so the Revs were the closest MLS club that we had. I was like tangentially into soccer because it's really hard in Massachusetts to be an active Revolution supporter.
Right.
For many different reasons. But Diego was something that was really exciting for the club. To have a homegrown player from actual Massachusetts come into the club and like really transform the energy around it for a little bit was really cool. So I've been saying this since he signed here that, you know, he was going to make a gigantic difference in the culture and the play style of the team. And I was so glad to be proven right. And that video just kind of like reminded me of how day one ride or die I've been for Diego Fagundes.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. It was great. That's our social media section. We had quite a bit past couple weeks.
Yeah, I guess that's everything, right?
Yeah, so now on to our lyric substitution section, where we take songs that Murga has worked long and hard on and change them.
Yeah, we want to
shove our favorite players in.
Yeah, we want to make sure that everyone knows that this is Jessica Luther's idea. At Jessica W. Luther on Twitter. Just incredible person, and we couldn't have done this without her.
So none of the lyrics today have Rodney in, which
she was very upset.
But they do. There is kind of a choose your own adventure for this week.
Oh,
so we've got some options. Yeah. So we're gonna take my dad's favorite Murga song, Bella Ciao.
Yep.
And we're gonna change the third line in this. So we've got Somos de Austin, Tejas, verde black, verde black, verde black, black, black. We're with our friends now, here in our city. We're gonna keep it weird, right? We're with our friends now, Danny Pereira. We're gonna keep, right?
Oh, sure. And you could do that with any, what is that, 3 syllables?
Yeah.
Danny Pereira.
We're
5
with
syllables?
Our friends now.
That's how math works.
Emmy Rigoni or Hector Jimenez, Seba Driussi.
King Bradley Stuver.
Okay, you're gonna take credit for the joke that I wrote?
Yeah.
I literally was so clever.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And then you stole it.
Yeah.
You just. All right, we've got a really exciting interview coming up, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back.
Shout out to Steph for absolutely killing that joke.
Yeah, and then Mike for murdering it. Okay, so we are into our special guest portion of the episode, and y'all may know her as Arrogant MLS Fan, or her Twitter handle at @exo_Glencoco, or by her actual name, Nicole. She's one of our favorite non-Austin FC follows with high-quality kit content, thirst inspo, soccer lifestyle stuff. She is practically a one-stop shop for fellow aficionados, especially in the Swoon division.
Yeah, for sure.
Nicole, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, no, thank you guys for reaching out and having me on. I'm super pumped to be on the pod. I always am super honored when I get asked to be on podcasts, because I'm I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm just another Twitter user, Twitter person. So I'm always oh my gosh, people like me enough to want me on their podcast. So it's always I'm so honored.
We knew we were right to hit you up when all of our listeners were yeah, we got to get her on. Let's go.
Also, this is, I think, my favorite of your content niches is the amount of things you can do with a jersey. The amount of outfits that you can create with
looks.
A jersey. It's inspiring, and it makes me want to level up my game for next season.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know what it is? I've always been, even long before I was a soccer fan and everything, I've always been really into fashion. I think it's a cultural thing, honestly, because my mom, my family's Dominican, and in Dominican culture, it's very known to you always dress up and you always want to look your best. And my mom is super into fashion. And so it just kind of passed it down. And so, even if I'm just going to a game or just going somewhere, anywhere, I always want to look I always want to have a fit put together,
Right.
So
yeah, and how else are you supposed to rep the team, right?
Exactly.
You got to do both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if I'm just wearing jeans, I try to match the vibe of the shirt with the wash of the jeans, and then listen, I match things down to the tiny details. I have a pair of white Keds that have a thin red and blue stripe on them. I'll match it down to those red and blue stripes on my sneakers, because it puts a whole cohesive look together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so good.
So we've got the fashion origin now, right? So now I want to know, what's your soccer fan origin story?
So I feel mine it's not that glamorous, but it all started back, and so I feel there's 2 parts. There's a couple parts to it. So soccer in general, I got into it back in 2010 because there was the World Cup going on, and
yeah,
my neighbors were, at the time, there were this Uruguayan family, and they were super nice. They would invite us over, like, for every game. And this was I do remember this was a particularly good run for Uruguay. And so they would invite us over for all the games, and they would, like, barbecue, and it was so much fun. And it's just, like, the vibe of that. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I love this so much. And then after that, I was kind of like a very casual, like, watching the World Cup, loosely followed AC Milan because my brother would mention them all the time because he was really into FIFA, like playing the video.
Sure. Yeah.
And he just
Strong FIFA squad.
Yes, strong. And so he would mention that name all the time. And I'm like, okay, that's going to be my team. And then it wasn't really until I want to say when I'm trying to think, like 2015, 2016, 2017, like those couple years, my really great friend, Chris, I'm still friends with him to this day. He was like the first ever MLS fan that I ever met. And he was, he would go to games. He was like a season ticket holder for a little bit. And he was like, do you want to go to a game? And I'm like, yeah, because the way he talked about it all the time just made it seem like so much fun. And I would go when they used to have, what was it? They had those like international friendlies all the time, like all over the United States. I would go to those like frequently. But then he was like, if you want soccer in the United States to get better, you got to support your local team.
Yeah.
And so
Amen.
I was like, you know what, Chris, I'll go to a game with you. And then that's how it just kind of blew up from there. But funny enough, I didn't get into kit collecting until about 2020 when the pandemic hit.
Sure, yeah. You're stuck inside. You got all this money. What am I going to do with it? I may as well buy old Chicago Fire merch. I get it.
Exactly. Like,
I get it.
It just went downhill from there. Like, once you start, and again, it was actually my same friend who got me into the Red Bulls is the same friend who got me into kit collecting as well. Because he started a kit collecting, like, Instagram. And I was like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should level up my jersey collection.
Yeah, for our audio only folks, she is wearing, like, straight up like fire old school Chicago Fire jersey on the pod right now. Like she came dressed for success. It's got the original logo, the good one, before the crappy rebrand, before the crappy but better rebrand. Like
yeah, so this was actually I found it randomly on Mercari, and like it was like you couldn't have like this is like a long sleeve keeper kit with both the MLS patches on it and the old Chicago Fire patch. I'm like, I can't pass this up. I cannot pass this up.
Are keepers your favorites?
Honestly, I do tend to like I think it's just kind of been a trend. I do tend to like keepers, especially if they're really good, But, cause I feel like they're a little bit sometimes, I don't want to say underrated, but sometimes
sure.
I feel like sometimes keepers can kind of be like the bass players, like they're the bass players in the band,
Oh my god!
If you're into
It's true,
keepers,
though.
yeah, I was gonna say like Austin's got a pretty good one, and he's pretty cute. I'm just putting it out there. If you're looking for a new keeper, Brad Stuver is your guy.
When I was looking at like some of the like questions to go over everything, and you were like favorite players, and it's like things they do, like community engagement and all that stuff. I was like, Stuver's pretty cool in that regard.
Yeah,
like he was one of the names that I wrote down because I know that he's very like does a lot of work in the community and is like very charitable, and like I have not heard one bad thing about him, so I was like, let me write him down.
It's a little pandering, but we'll take it, I think.
Yeah, it's true that the strikers get the flashy moments and your forwards get the flashy moments, but like unless you have a day like the World Cup today where both matches go to penalty kicks, you don't really get those like star turns from keepers that often, so they can fly under the radar.
And I know the United States in general, like we do a pretty good job of producing keepers. And I think that's why I'm always like, they have a special place in my heart. Like, I think the reason, besides this being a keeper kit with the Old Chicago Fire logo on it, one of the reasons why I wanted to buy it was because it was around the time, when was it? I know it was like last year, but one of my favorite players I loved watching on Chicago Fire was Gaga Slonina before he got moved before he got bought by Chelsea. And like he's, for being how young as he is, he's so like motivated. He's good, obviously. He's so motivated. He's so talented. And it was genuinely such a joy to watch him. And especially I think the Fire is going through such a like not great time right now.
He got a lot of opportunities, right? To show how good he was.
Yes.
That's how we could say that. So who are some of your other favorite players, both on and off the pitch? Doesn't have to be Austin FC, obviously, but like, it helps.
I had to put, first and foremost, because I wasn't sure if it was limited to just MLS or if I could do other leagues.
Go global. It's a World Cup
It's
season.
a World Cup special.
Okay, so I was going to say first and foremost, Marcus Rashford. Because, number one, he plays on Manchester United, which is my English Premier League team. But he's also genuinely such a good human being, considering the fact that he practically fed like all of his country's school children during the pandemic. And I think he's like second in the world or second in the UK for like most charitable like athletes. And that's saying a lot because he's still relatively young.
Yeah.
But again, he's just a genuinely good human being.
Great smile too.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say it.
He is. He's just overall, he's nice. He's tall. He's good looking. Like he's like a perfect 10. And he has a degree. You can't literally like 10s across the board. Cannot go wrong here.
A man that does both, Marcus Rashford.
What a
MBE.
great pick, though.
Technically. But then it kind of goes, I feel like I put like two completely like opposites because outside of Marcus Rashford being my favorite, I also love, and I'm pretty sure it's in my bio, I love Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and I know that that's a very spicy take.
No, it's like you're covering both ends of the attitude spectrum.
Right. Also, in this house, we stand Zlatan.
Yes.
That vibe is a good vibe when he's on your team.
Exactly. Like he was, what was it? I just love his like, because I think sometimes in soccer, I would say particularly, and I think this is kind of an MLS thing too, is that there's not a lot of personalities, and I think that probably has to do that we're still a relatively young league, and so whenever there's a personality, I love big personalities, even if they're kind of the villain. Just in general, I love the villains, and that's why I love Zlatan, because he is such a villain. He also plays for AC Milan, which again, my favorite team, and his time at like with MLS, he was such a terror. Like
So fun to watch.
He was, and even to this day, you still see people like talking about how much Zlatan pissed them off while he was in MLS. Like
that's a legacy.
That's a legacy. Like it can't get.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that. I love a good villain. Like they're entertaining to watch.
It's funny because in Austin this year we had Felipe Martins, who everyone across the league like universally agrees terrible monster and also fan favorite at the same time, right? So we're on your side. We were big time Felipe fans. We wish him all the best in Orlando, except if we play them, so like we get the villain side. We love that guy.
I love a good villain. Like, there was a guy. He used to be the keeper for Real Salt Lake.
Oh, Troy. Yeah.
Oh, Troy.
He was a villain. Everyone hated him. And I loved him for the very same reason everyone hated him. It was a villain, because he's a villain. Like, you have to understand, like, you need an insane amount of confidence to get on Instagram Live and say, tell Pepe to give back that award. Because it was during the playoff season last year. And it was like, I think Ricardo Pepi had just gotten some award. I don't know if it was like from FC Dallas themselves or from the league. But he gotten some award.
For best young player or whatever.
Yeah, like some best young player award. And literally after they beat Seattle in Pens. And he got on IG Live and was like, tell Pepe to give back that award. Like, you know how much confidence you need for that? Like, I can't help but stand.
Yeah,
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we move on to our World Cup content, you are a Red Bulls fan. I want to know who your favorite Red Bull player is.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. But I think I gotta say, I think it has to be John Tolkien.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. Kid's so fun.
Yeah, he's the young kid on the block. He's like young new kid on the block, but also has a lot of personality. He is another fan favorite, I would say, for the Red Bulls. Like, everyone loves him. And he's fun to watch, and especially him being so young, it's going to be even more fun to watch him grow as a player. And I know that he's definitely one of those players where he's not flashy, but you can definitely tell the difference when he's not playing.
Is Aaron Long coming back or no?
I don't think he's coming back, because he's been wanting to go to Europe for a very long time. Or at the very least, I think it's kind of like the captain's curse, where we had Sean Davis as captain and he went to Nashville. And so I think it's Aaron Long's time to spread his wings and go somewhere else. And I would be sad, because I feel like he's been a part of our team for so long. But I'm more so just happy for him to get another opportunity. And I also think if he goes to LA Galaxy, he's going to be much closer to home than he is being in New Jersey. Because he's originally from California. So I'd be happy for him if he goes to like a California team.
Yeah, as long as it's a Western Conference team,
Yes.
you don't mind.
Yes, I don't want to see, like, it's going to be difficult now because Nashville SC is coming back to the Eastern Conference, and now
Thank
we have
God.
to, and yeah, and now we have to verse
for us, not for
not for me, because now we have to.
Yep.
Because basically, I mean, the joke is that Nashville SC is like Red Bulls 2.0, because they have so many of our old players. It's really only like 3. But it's still funny to say.
3's a lot.
Yeah,
3 is a lot.
especially considering starting 11.
Right.
The 3 of them play consistently. So
Yeah. 3's a lot, especially when your club sends everybody to like Europe anyway.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. So it's gonna be a fun match to play against. Nashville, like Nashville against the Red Bulls. It's gonna be fun to watch now.
Yeah. All right. Into the good stuff. Are you ready for a World Cup?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a hard question. Who are your top 3 handsome teams? We're coming in hot
Wow,
here.
yeah, we are just jumping in the deep end.
Well,
Yep.
okay. This is hard because it was
Yes.
like trying to think. I would say number one is Iran. Like,
Wow.
Okay.
I said, and going into the World Cup, I was like, they're not going to make it very far, but they are going to be the team that is the best looking in my opinion. And you know what? A lot of people agreed. I think collectively,
I was gonna say,
collectively as a team, they are all like very attractive. Like they all look like they stopped at the barber shop before coming to the game. The hairline, strong. The cut
very strong,
was crisp. Okay, the cuts were crisp.
Yeah, I'll give you that. They're my number 2. They're my number 2 overall, and like, I think that it not only was their performance surprisingly successful, I think that they turned a lot of heads, like literally, in the group stages.
Is that literal or is that figurative?
Literal. I was literally turning my head to watch all of them at the same time.
That's true. Your dad's TV is massive.
It's like, I get the binoculars, like, can they zoom in on this one dude?
My
Just
favorite,
pause, enhance.
My favorite moment of every match is the anthems, the national anthems, because we get like good, solid close-ups of every player.
All right. Who's your number 2, Nicole?
I put Brazil.
Okay.
Yes, Brazil, first and foremost. I think collectively they are very attractive. I love the dance celebrations.
Yes. Yeah, the vibes are so right on Brazil for sure.
That's why I feel like they're my number 2, because I feel like they're good looking, but it's also the vibes as well. So that's why I put them at number 2.
Okay. I can respect that.
Yeah. Richarlison is one of my favorite players in the world. Always has been. When he was playing with Everton, he was so fun to watch. And then he came to Spurs and he was being flashy one time and a bunch of people complained about it on the internet. And so we just told them cry more. And then was just the man about it. And that energy is perfect.
And he's also a good person.
Yeah.
Outside of the field as well. Again, and he's also tall too. Again.
I think we've hit why you like keepers.
Yeah.
I think we're narrowing in on something.
Because you know what? I'm 5'6" and I like to wear heels.
Sure.
So that puts me at 5'10" most days, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's I just like the tall, the attitude.
Is your third hottest team the Netherlands?
No, it's
just tall kings everywhere for Nicole.
Yeah, but their keeper is 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, he's a giant.
I was like, why is the net so tiny?
Just theirs.
Just theirs. All right, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is actually, it's not the Netherlands, surprisingly. It's actually South Korea.
You've got my heart with Sunny. Even in a Batman mask. Oh.
Yes, because they're just they're just so attractive. And I think collectively this is a very attractive team. They all dress very well too. I've seen a lot of their players in their pregame
their pregame fits are on. Also, that attacking band has got to be one of the most attractive attacking bands in all of world football. So yeah.
Yes. And I was trying to come up with this award, kind of like a golden boot, but it's not,
golden face.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Golden Heartthrob Award.
Yeah,
and I feel like, and for me, the qualification, it's every World Cup, there's always one player that stands out, that everyone just kind of freaks out over as wow, this dude's super hot. And I feel like if I were to give it to somebody, it would be
Hwang Hee-chan.
Yes, from South Korea. He went from 40,000 followers on Instagram to 1 million overnight.
Deservedly so.
Yes, deservedly so. I had to turn off his phone because he was just getting so many marriage proposals.
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
He earned them.
Yeah,
He
honestly.
did. He did. So he gets my Golden Heartthrob award. Like,
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that.
Do
Mike,
you really, Steph? I feel like you're quiet seething about not having your world number one.
listen, I was gonna ask you what your top 3 were. We'll get to me. Everyone already knows. It's fine. Everyone knows. Who are your top 3 handsome teams?
All right. So for me, I think that Iran might be my number one. I think Nicole has a really good point. It's ridiculous, right? Like every single Iranian player could have just, if they didn't go to Qatar, they could have gone to Milan and gotten modeling contracts and become just as rich and just as famous in just as short a time. I'm just saying every single one of them. Off the pitch, into magazines, that's it.
Okay. All right. Who's your number 2?
I have a very soft spot for my adopted country of residence one day, maybe, in Spain.
I was like, Italy didn't make the World Cup, Mike.
Yeah, I'm only using Italy as a jumping path to
EU
to
citizenship.
where I want to
Yep.
go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Look, I've thought Alvaro Morata has been cute forever. I think Marco Asensio is unreal. And like, just in general, that team is, I mean, they're pretty damn good looking, right? Carlos Soler plays for that team. Danny Olmo reminds me a lot of some of our cute Austin FC boys. He reminds me a lot of like a John Kolmanich or Tommy Polk situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that, like, oh, it's almost like what we have at home,
Sure.
And so I like that. So Spain is my number 2.
Okay. And your number 3?
Yeah. What's your take on ranking Spain so high, Nicole?
I feel like, for some reason, I don't feel like Spain particularly stood out to me.
I think Spain is a lot more hit and miss. You know what I mean? Than some of the teams. Some of the teams, like, you're like, oh no, every single one of those men come home. But like, Spain is like, you know what? Maybe you stay. And so I
can see it. I can see it. Like, they're not, like, they are an attractive team. Like, they are an attractive team.
Yeah, it's not like we're dealing with, the Houston Dynamo or whatever. And then
the shade.
Catching strays out here.
And then hey, you actually used it right this time.
I know, and yep.
My third team in this World Cup for attractiveness is France. I think they've got a member of the team for every person, right? Oh, you want like fake Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars? You've got
More handsome.
You've got Antoine Griezmann, right? If you want an underwear model who also scores goals with every part of his body, you have Olivier Giroud, right?
Can't you just save this? Can you just save your explanation?
Sure. You know what? You're right.
Ask me who mine are. Okay. So my third place team is actually Senegal.
Great pick.
Senegal has some faces and some bodies that more people should be looking at. They're just all like 10 out of 10. Yes, please. Second place, Iran. I think that's as the most consistent kind of team on all 3 of our lists. We've already been there. First place team. It's just France. It's always been France. And I tell people who question that choice just to look at Mike and who I'm married to and how much more French can you get in a face without being French at all.
I'm like the Wish version of a Frenchman, right? Like, I'm the bad version of we've got French at home. Just so we're all clear. That's what happens when you are French Canadian, is you're like the worst parts, right?
No, stop.
Oh my god.
I mean, Giroud is just the most handsome, which is why when you said, you know, is that okay, golden heartthrob? Because I think that everyone just knows Giroud is handsome. That's not like a new thing. And so
Exactly.
we're not discovering anything new in this World Cup. We know Olivier Giroud is handsome football.
It's like death taxes, Giroud being handsome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then you've got Hugo, who perpetually confused, sweet, surprised, eternal eyebrows, Lloris. What's not to love about his face? And then we've got Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Right.
This podcast is just me wildly gesturing for an audio-only medium and just waving my hands around. That's my argument for France.
You know who was really attractive? I think is really attractive on the France national team squad? Theo Hernandez.
I was going to say both of the Hernandez brothers.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
just completely tatted. That's honestly kind of like, that's my weakness. Like, just completely tatted, and I'm like a puddle. Like, like, who gave you the right?
Yeah, it's just a really good looking team. And like the fact that they only brought, everyone's like, ooh, they only brought 25 out of their allotted 26 because they're so good. And I'm looking at it like, that's one more handsome boy that they could have brought to the world stage. And you took that away from us. How dare you?
Speaking of taking it away from us, FIFA has once again refused to allow our rule of shirts versus skins in the World Cup. So I want to talk about kits. I want to talk about top 3 favorite kits of the tourney, and we'll make this one a little quicker than our handsome teams, because, you know, teams, we got to talk about 26 dudes. Shirts, we got to talk about 2, maybe 3 at the most. And so I will go last because I made an exhaustive list and I won't duplicate anyone's. And so, Steph, do you want to go first?
Yeah, Mexico, Ghana, Germany, Korea.
That's 4. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't. I mean,
There are just too many good ones.
right, South Korea's away kit, that like blue with the not tie dye, almost like graffiti stripes.
Oh yeah, the one that looks like an MLS like league-wide warm-up shirt.
Yeah.
You put that on your list?
Yes, I love it. It's a choice, and I love a choice. I love a choice as long as it's not Belgium repping Guy Fieri out there. Hard pass, no thank you.
Wow.
Nicole.
It's like Flavor Town is in UEFA. That's what I've learned. I have to say, for me, it was hard. So I have an honorable mention just because it is a pre-match training kit, but it's the South Korea home. I mean, both are great, but for me, I like the home better. Japan, and then Brazil home and away. And then honorable mention to Ecuador's pre-match warm-up kits. Because if you haven't seen them, they are fantastic.
Yes. I really was surprised at the creativity in the pre-match warm-up kits, just across the board, because some of the jerseys, we won't name names of maybe United Set of States, but really went super safe on their jerseys, and then came out with these warm-up kits that I'm like, oh, you have something interesting in you.
Yeah, it's like you could have gone more interesing.
You could have just done that. Just wear the warm-up kit. It was so much better. Oh my god, I'm not gonna yell about it too much. I already started. Oh. I completely loved the fact that Japan worked in coordination with the people who wrote the manga Blue Lock, and to make the jerseys. Really? Yeah, because it's like the jerseys that they wear in Blue Lock, it's the same jerseys that they're wearing, and it was so cool. And I was like, I've never seen something like that
happened before where it's based off of some
That
media.
is so sick. Yeah, that is amazing.
That's really cool.
And the great thing about the anime is that the whole anime is based off of like Japan losing in the World Cup.
Oh no.
And so they essentially create this like secret operation to train like the best striker in the world so they can win the World Cup.
That's incredible.
That's really fun.
Okay, so we've mentioned Mexico. Obviously, I think Mexico always has the number one best shirt, basically every single time. And so I won't mention them.
Okay.
But I do want to give a shout out to Senegal's shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I love like a V stripey design across the chest. I think that looks so cool every time a team does it. And Senegal's was the best one this year. I also want to give a shout out to Denmark's shirts. The statement that they made with their shirts is just exactly what I was hoping to see from more teams and more outlets during the World Cup. And, you know, we didn't get that. And so I want to give the appreciation where it did happen. I want to call that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my last pick is Tunisia. And I know it's like an outside pick, but Tunisia's shirt gave me such Mexico 98 vibes with like the Mayan or the Aztec calendar that the Mexican shirt did, but like for Tunisia. And it just is so cool looking and like to me was a throwback, even though I don't know if Tunisia and Mexico have anything in common other than both being like colonized by Spain at different points. You know, other than that, I don't know. But like that shirt is sick as hell. And so, yeah, those are my 3 picks because everybody else mentioned all the other ones that that I wanted to talk about. I do want to give another secret special shout out to the Belgian white shirt that they didn't get to wear because it had the word love and a rainbow on the back of the neck. And FIFA said no because Qatar said no.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so we had to deal with those crappy Guy Fieri shirts 100 times more.
Did you just call him Guy Fieri?
Yeah.
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Yeah, that's the Belgian version of Guy Fieri. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
All right. Who do you hope wins the World Cup?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh, well, I was really hoping for Brazil to win, but now they're
number 2 on your list.
Yeah, now they're out. So, honestly, it's hard, right? Because you know, I don't want it to go home, but I want Marcus Rashford happy.
Yes.
Sure.
So, you know, if England, it would be nice to see Marcus Rashford be a part of a World Cup winning team. For the underdog, I would always root for the underdog. Would love to see Morocco win. But if all else fails, you know, France, because Giroud and Theo, who both play for AC Milan, are on there. I feel like that's at the point I'm at in the World Cup, right? Where it's like, okay, as long as you have players from teams that I like, I'm rooting for you because, you know, that's my club interests at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Besides Morocco.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it'll be, I do have a feeling that it's going to be Argentina. Like, that's the feeling that I have. I feel like
that's
it's going to be
your actual
Argentina.
prediction?
Yeah, that's my actual prediction. I feel like it's going to be Argentina. I don't know why, but I have like just a feeling that's going to be them.
Yeah.
That's my heart pick, honestly. My ideal situation is that Morocco wins on Saturday and France beats England.
Ouch.
And
I have one bracket with France winning the whole thing and one bracket with England winning the whole thing, so I can't really speak.
And then I want Morocco to beat France. And then I want Argentina to beat Morocco. Just for Messi.
Okay.
But I will also accept Messi's Argentina crushing Ronaldo's Portugal because he has to be on the pitch because he's got that big of an ego. I would love that. In my heart of hearts, right? The absolute schadenfreude of like watching Ronaldo just get owned by Argentina because he refuses to admit that he's cooked.
Yes, that would be the matchup for the ages, right? Because it would literally be Messi versus Ronaldo, which is like every that's the World Cup final for every person who has a player as their Twitter avi. like that's for them.
Oh my god!
And then we can really get the Ronaldo versus Messi like greatest of all time like actual
debate
game
settled.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Yes, we could actually get it settled.
Yeah. Any other World Cup thoughts that you've got?
I feel like this has been one of the most interesting, like in terms of like craziness.
Yeah.
Of it. I mean, for me, I only really have like solid recollection of like 2010, like starting in 2010. So that's my frame of reference. But at least I would say in my time that I've been seriously watching, it's definitely been the most. It's been the craziest. Yeah. I think what's interesting about it being having a World Cup in 2022 is that there's more mediums for people to like connect and create things. And so I feel like I'm seeing people who normally aren't really into soccer, like talk about soccer. So I think just like on a global reach part of it, this is the biggest tournament in the world, but this one feels like more connected by virtue of the technology that we have now.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, the amount of we listened to
From COVID to Qatar.
Yep.
The story of the U.S. men's team's journey from failing to qualify in 2018 through to this World Cup.
Yeah, and I was just so pumped, and to be able to have podcasts that before, during, and after can give us all of the extra information, like who's the most handsome team in the World Cup, the important stuff, the dirt, I think that's a really, really great point, that there just is this massive influx of new media that we can consume.
Yeah. Super cool. And it's so fun to see Americans like getting into it at the same level that the rest of the world is, right?
Yes.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's happening.
It's finally happening. And I know people will get on American soccer fans for being cringy, for being weird, and people are like, "Oh, that's why no one likes us, because we're our fans are so cringy and weird." Listen, if they're cringy and weird, I'm cringy and weird, and I'm proud of being cringy and weird because I'm proud to support my national team. And if that makes me cringy and weird, then so be it. I'm cringy and weird. I don't care.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I am behind that 100% because there's so much from like fan base to fan base. We see it in MLS. We see it in the Premier League. We see it everywhere in soccer that fan bases are judging other fan bases. And it's like, if they're in it and having fun and being good people while they're doing it, yeah, let them wear their cryptid costumes and let them do whatever things, like just let them do it, because it's just supporting the sport and it's creating more of an accessibility and approachability for new fans to start coming in.
Yeah, the only thing I'm judging fans on is if you're being a ding dong or if you just like aren't showing up, right? Those are the two things that as fans we can do, and so let's do them.
Exactly.
Okay, this next section is a rapid fire question section that normally we tailor around specifically our Austin FC boys. Obviously, Nicole, you may not be as familiar with our gentlemen as you might be other MLS gentlemen. And so that's okay. Before we get into it, I do want to show you a photo just so that you have it in your mind, because one of our questions is, what is your favorite pose in the picture? And now
I was like, she doesn't know what the picture is, Mike.
yeah, and I said that's okay because I will show her the picture.
Oh my gosh.
Our boys started
There's a lot
taking
going on.
Yeah, there is.
Our boys started taking locker room photos after wins.
After road wins, yeah.
In the like home team stadium when they were on the road. And so, as voted upon by a subset of the Los Verdes supporters group and Austin FC supporters group, that subset being the Handsome Boys Football Modeling Club group, this is one of the favorite pictures of the past season. And so, while we ask you our rapid fire questions, I just want you to have this photo in your mind. And so we're going to keep this one up in our Zoom screen.
I just want to say, first and foremost, who is number 31 with the little with the salt and pepper?
Dude, yep. Yeah, that's Andrew Tarbo.
That's all I want.
And Nicole, I will blow your mind by telling you that he is our backup keeper.
See, I told
Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, Nicole has a type.
Keeper is just, if you're a keeper, that's
You're
what I
a
love.
keeper.
Yes. If you're a keeper, you're a keeper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. Okay. Are you ready to get started on these rapid fires? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
Who has the best smile in MLS?
Yimi Chara from Portland Timbers.
Nice.
Okay.
Who has the best fashion sense in MLS?
Ooh, that's hard. It's gonna be DeAndre Yedlin, Paul Areola, and Junior Urso.
Paul Areola, really?
Yeah, have you not seen his fits? Homeboy is a hype
He lives in
beast.
the suburbs. Anyway,
Oh, gosh. Oh, boy.
who would you run through a wall for?
Honestly, the entirety of the RSL team, particularly Justin Glad.
Okay. All right. Now we're at it. Whose pose in the picture is your favorite?
Honestly, the guy in the corner going like this. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's really funny.
that's
It was
Seba
like,
Driussi, MVP.
That's our MVP, Sebastian Driussi.
just, I know he's like that. this
Yeah,
guy.
he's ready to fight.
So in this
Exactly.
match, the one he has his hands up to got a black eye. Got hit in the face in the middle of the match, got a black eye. And so that was the inspiration behind the boxing pose.
Yeah, Seba's taking credit for
Amazing.
John Gallagher's black eye here.
All right.
amazing.
Panera mac and cheese bread bowl, yes or no?
I'm saying yes. I love carbs.
Yes! Nailed it.
All right. So next one is, so in soccer, pre-match, the boys all carry these little bags, right? These little toiletry bags. Nobody
Yes.
knows what's in them because no one will tell us what's in yours.
Ooh, I'm a type A person, Virgo. So I always like to be prepared at any given moment. So I'm having makeup wipes, my phone charger, a brow pencil, because I always do my eyebrows when I'm wearing makeup. So I want to make sure my eyebrows always look on point. Liquid liner, because again, I want to be able to touch it up, look on point. Bobby pins and safety pins, because you don't have to. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Two red lipsticks, just in case I get tired of one or the other and I want a choice. And then a Nutrigram bar, just because you always want to have a snack with you anywhere you go.
I want to
Amen.
travel with Nicole.
Right?
I
You
feel like I need that.
Also, I'm stealing the hell out of, you never need to get ready if you stay ready.
Yep. All right. And our last question. Who is the MLS man of your jersey? Your number one favorite player. The one who has your heart and your soul and the money that you would choose to customize the jersey for.
I'm going to have to go with Red Bull's like number one fan favorite club legend, Bradley Wright Phillips.
Nice.
Nice. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Yeah,
No
we had so much fun.
problem.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at XO_Glenn Coco. If you want to see some funny soccer jokes and takes and soccer kit fits, follow me on Twitter.
Massive thank you again to Nicole for coming on and chatting all things World Cup, soccer, and swoon.
So much fun. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for listening this week. As always, please rate, review, subscribe, etc. Also, I don't know if y'all heard on Moontower, but the Patreon is getting ready to do their refresh on the merch items that you can get as gifts for being financial supporters of the show. So make sure to check out patreon.com/Moontower.
Soccer?
Maybe? Yep. Moontower Soccer.
I have to say that getting the Patreon swag bundle last year is the greatest payoff of an internet joke that I have ever experienced in my life. What is that? Listen next time and find out.